Faith and masturbation, the Catholic Church and masturbation, the Protestant tradition and masturbation, masturbation with no tradition at all. Masturbation is overrated once you've had sex with a woman. But I think the places where masturbation, other than getting caught, there was a countertop in the bathroom, and I had my legs straddling and my balls just touching the cold marble of the bathroom, and I had locked the door, but I hadn't shut the door. So my sister Maggie, I wonder if she still remembers this. I was about 13, 14. Walked in and walked out very quickly. I once masturbated with a piece of liver that I warmed up in a microwave oven. I once masturbated in a crowded pool with a jet streaming out warm water into the pool, and was caught there by Laura Havercroft, my brother's girlfriend. She just said, "Sean!" I think masturbation, if I'm using an excessive, huge load of porn, hardcore porn, then maybe I have a problem. I think if I masturbate to the point of isolating myself from social contact, when I use porn to the point of demeaning a shop girl or even my sisters or teachers as sex objects, and you stare and say hello to attractive women who blow you off anyway and just leave everybody else alone, they become devalued. Women become a sex object, and that's a problem with pornography if it's linked closely with masturbation. If that's the only way you can get off, that becomes a serious problem with everything, with S&M, with DNS, with different types of role-playing where there's violence and abuse, and you can't get off any other way. Fortunately, I never really got into that. I have a really long video that got 300,000 hits about domination and submission, where I interviewed a psychologist about it, and she was very frank, and it was probably one of the biggest hit getters there was, DNS, the soft term for S&M. But the big thing in the Catholic Church that's misquoted oftentimes is a guy called Onan. And Onan was the brother of a Levitical priest in the early phases of church in Genesis. So his sister-in-law was the wife of the Levitical priest. Now, the Levitical priest, I have trouble saying that word, Levitical priest, died. And the law of the Old Testament, we're not under the Old Testament law, we're under grace. But this particular gentleman, the brother-in-law, had to consummate a relationship with his ex-sister-in-law, so the line of the Levitical priesthood would be sustained. And he's called Onan the Masturbator, but he never masturbated. The thing that pissed God off so much, as I read the text, is Coitus Interruptus. He failed to consummate. What a wild God, huh? He says, you're supposed to have sex with your sister-in-law because your brother's dead. And there's no other way to continue the line of the Levitical priesthood. So Onan the Masturbator doesn't exist. Masturbation does not exist in the Bible. There's some thoughts about excessive lust to the point where you're distracted from performing your tasks. I once was in a sex shop, and the most hardcore addict I ever saw. And this isn't a sex film, this is the Bible, but he was looking through porn like this, and then he'd put it down, and then he'd pick up another magazine, and he was going like that. That guy has a serious addiction problem. He's going nowhere. He's going nowhere with that attitude. He's isolating himself. He's preventing relationships, real relationships with real women from ever happening. And I'm trying to think of another funky way that I masturbated. There's got to be tons of them. I once masturbated in bed when I was about 13, and another 13-year-old boy. It wasn't a homosexual thing. But I masturbated in the living room of a friend of mine when we were both watching television. That was interesting. I had a cloth over me, and to my knowledge, he never noticed. But for all you masturbators out there, don't give up the faith.